Yeah, absolutely. I definitely wanted to kind of come full circle with Shop Local Raleigh, because I used to take advantage of all of this amazing free education in my first couple of years of business. I went to every Tech Tuesday. I went to every, networking type thing I could do. That really, really helped me and is a really valuable resource. So I wanted to kind of put my hat in the ring to add to some more information for small business owners and just kind of come full circle with that. But first, I'll just kind of go to my little thing here. So I'm Michelle Ghassemi. I own Meraki Salons. Our niche is organic, holistic hair care. So we pride ourselves on a non-toxic culture and low toxic beauty products. And that's really a function of my health journey behind the chair. I am no longer behind the chair. And I opened Meraki Salons stepping fully away from the chair, but I really wanted to remain in this industry. I have such a passion for it, but I just wanted to have a different role and a different impact. And so everything that we do comes back to that core of organic, holistic, non-toxic beauty, still high-end and luxury as well. I graduated from Northern Michigan University. So I'm originally from Northern Michigan. And I moved down here with my husband, oh gosh, probably 8 years now. Graduated in 2005 from cosmetology. And then I did go back to school for business and communication courses as well. So throughout my career, I was 10 years behind the chair before I got sick, and then stepped away from the chair. And I've been in the beauty industry about 19 years now. So I've played a variety of roles, and towards the tail end of my behind the chair career, I was an organic colorist as well. So now currently I'm fully behind the scenes, still very much inside my businesses, training my team, training leaders on the floor. And then the last couple of years, I've been paying it forward with going to schools, teaching students there, and then also mentoring and coaching other salon owners who have teams. So employees, because we all know how that can have its own challenges. So the last few years, I've just really wanted to take everything that I've learned, all my trial and errors, and really look to build bridges for others in the community. And that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this today. A lot of these things can be applied to any type of business. So that's a little bit about me. We're going to talk about understanding the importance of defining your business's mission and core values, how to find your why. So we will kind of dive into that. And this is our kind of table of contents. I'm just going to do 3 points. So learn how to identify your reason for doing what you're doing. 2, why it matters. Why does it matter? And then 3, how to get that message out. So identifying it, why it matters, and then let's tell others about it. So trying to make it as simple as possible, as actionable as possible, and then a little bit of sharing my experiences in my business. So first, we can get into how to identify it. So I'm going to speak from my experience as well as some of the things that helped me define my why. I knew that if I got clarity on my why, it would really create a truly sustainable long-term business for myself that I could actually be content with despite hardships, because those things will come up. So it's important to really figure out why you're doing what you're doing, so you can always come back to that when things get hard, which they will. So I distinctly remember the time that I really helped to identify my why. So it was back when we were closed for COVID. I was about 2.5 years into my business. I'm now in my 6th year behind with my business. So about 2.5 years into opening my first location when we were closed for COVID, I really used that time to sit and think about what makes us different as a business, who we wanted to serve, and who I wanted to draw to us as employees. So I had a few pieces of that kind of up to that point, but I got super clear in that downtime in all the ways so that I could really be clear and focused moving forward, and really helping to identify some key areas that I could come back to when we did have hardships. Hopefully something like COVID won't happen again, but there's always hardships that come up in business. So I really wanted to make myself and my core of my business really rock solid. So Logistically, I just started writing a list of what I wanted in my business. So for me, I am a full service hair salon. So I went down to what the products I wanted on my shelf, what services I wanted to offer, what education I wanted to offer to my team and thereby through to my clients, what kind of vendors I wanted to align myself with. So really the nuts and bolts. And I just started writing them out, just brainstorming. I also focused on what I wanted my space to feel like when people came in, trying to define that. And that was for my team and my guests. So how did I want people to walk through the doors? How did I want them to feel? And really tried to put that pen to paper and identify that. And full circle, front of house, back of house, all the departments, and then our clients. So really got granular on that. And then I also brainstormed how I wanted my team to show up for themselves and for our guests. Because in my business, we're a service-based industry, so you can't fill from an empty cup. Our industry is dealing with people. It's very physical. It can also be very emotional and mentally draining. So I really wanted to focus on nurturing my team to make sure they're taking care of themselves. So then in turn, we can take care of our guests. So those were huge things. And I really got granular. I just started doing the list and everything. Then I looked at that list and I chopped it down to a few key phrases. Because as you write those lists, and I'm going to encourage you to write those as well, whether it's a free write or a brain dump or something like that, you'll start to notice a theme when you're writing all these things down. And so kind of pinpoint on those things, and then you can start putting those key phrases, or there's things that keep popping up for you, or things that make you feel more alive than others. Like, ooh, if I had to not do this tomorrow, would that be okay? And then that helps you really focus on, okay, what is my core? What lights me up? What do I want to serve? How do I want to serve? How do I want to show up? How do I want my team to show up? All those sorts of things. So then I started chopping it to those key phrases, and then chopped it down even further to different things that I could use as a tagline, hashtag, things like that, because people like bite-sized pieces. And then you could also use that to establish your culture and all of your different things. So that's what I did. And then a lot of this will be your foundation to figuring out your culture, your core values, and your mission. How you want your business, which is a reflection of you, to show up in your community and to show up for your team. So that creates the foundation. It's very individual to every single person and every single business. So I encourage you to, for me, I just started writing a list. I'm kind of pen and paper type person. So whatever that looks like to you, I would just encourage you to start just kind of putting all that out there. Just kind of take whatever's in your brain, whatever comes up for you, and using these sorts of kind of bullet points. What do I want in my business? Get really granular. What do I want on the shelf if you sell a good? What kind of services do I want to offer? Who do I want to offer them to? If you have a team, what does that look like? And then talk about feeling. And we'll come back to that feeling down the road on why feeling matters to the public and to your clients. So start with that, and then just start brain dumping, all those sorts of things. This creates a foundation for you, and this will start creating a core and a center for you to continually come back to this main area for you to stay focused in your business when things become scattered around you. So for me, it served as kind of my rudder and my center from which I made, from that moment forward, all purchasing and hiring decisions. So I got super crystal clear on my why for my business and the type of team that I wanted and all the things. And that became my rudder. And then everything I did and every decision from that was drawn to that rudder. That's where I made all my decisions moving forward. And for me, that was important because I wanted a business that truly aligned with who I was and the impact I wanted, not only for my specific industry, but also for my community and the families that I would be helping. Something that I could get behind. something that was not just in title only, like you're a business owner, you're a CEO or whatever it is, not just that, but celebrating my own unique view and experiences that only you can bring to the table. So that's why this is very individual to you on how you do this. But I would encourage you to do that because that will set a really great sustainable foundation for you and your business. And you don't have to have employees. You don't have to have brick and mortars either. It's just really defining why you do what you do, why you show up every day, why you have this business, why you feel that this is important for you, for whoever else. It's getting very clear on why you did this in the first place. And it helps you come back to that when you get into tough times, which you will. So then we'll get into, this is kind of the meat of the matter, why it matters. And I'll share some things from, of course, my experiences, and hopefully you can pick a few things from those as well. First of all, why it matters. When things get tough, your why will carry you through. And for me, I always think I have a lot on the line, as I'm sure a lot of you guys do as well. I wanted to feel like I was making an impact through my business and what that stands for, using this amazing tool for good. That was important to me. So I wanted to really operate from a center rudder that could create some good impact. And I felt, a duty, since I had a business and an entity and employees, to do right by that. And so that means that as an owner, I needed to sit and figure how I wanted to operate and show up in this world and show up for the people inside of my spaces. And that could very well be something you can also portray to online audiences or anything that you would put out there as your persona and what you have for your business. So I have found that you do need something deeper to come back to during those hard times. COVID was a great example, but also smaller things such as a salty ex-employee, an upset guest, damages, unforeseen occurrences, cash flow issues, all of those little things. You need something that centers you each time, that you can come back to, that's a little bit deeper, that really helps you stay true and pushes you forward even when things become difficult. So creating that center is crucial for maintaining a steady foundation with which to keep building on. Something that the community and your team can get behind because it's not all over the place, right? People start trusting your brand because it's steady. And when it does shift, it's always with the main core focus. So it makes sense. So keep that in mind too. Something steady builds trust, builds loyalty, builds integrity. People can rely on it. They look at it, becomes a source of expertise and knowledge. So again, that maintains your trust and integrity in what you have to offer, which in turn makes people want to shop with you because it touches them. And that's important because people buy based on how you make them feel, even over what makes sense or even a lower price point. People buy based on how you make them feel. So it all stems back to the beginning, how to figure that out. You really want to figure out how you want people to feel in your space, how to quantify that, how to verbalize that, because that is really what's going to create that trust and integrity for your clients and for your community. And it will be solid. It will be a core. It won't be all over the place, like hitting the next trend and the next cool thing that comes out. You really got to understand who you are and how you operate. In a logistic sort of way, this foundation creates sustainability in your business and sets the tone for scalability if that's your goal. And understanding how you want people to feel will give you direction in everything. Your copy, your content, your verbiage, your social media, your marketing strategies, because you are now very specific in your message. So people are starting to see you as the expert in this niche that you have. And then as an owner, it can give you contentment, clarity, and focus, which will minimize frustrations and anxiety. And I don't know about you, but I would look for any place to minimize frustrations and anxiety. And if that means getting super clear on why I do what I do, then that's a huge help for me when other things are out of my control. And this is also something that you can do to pay forward to other people, whether it's on your team, helping a new leader, helping a new business owner, really helping them get focused when you have all the things in front of you. It can be very overwhelming. So if you have that core, you can also help others, which will really give you a sense of peace and calm inside of you. Because again, for me, when I found that, I then took that center and made all my decisions off of that, like a wheel. So that way it was all very steady, very consistent. That's what allowed us to grow so quickly and allows us to continue to grow our team quickly. So that's definitely a reason why as well, because it helps you as the owner, for sure. Also, for those that have teams, it builds a more loyal team, focused and driven towards that common goal. It makes them more productive, and it also fills their basic human needs of being a part of something greater, making an impact, feeling like they matter, which are all parts of human behavior. And if they're all working towards a center, they're more loyal, they're more focused, it will in turn not dilute your brand. It will make it stronger because everyone is coming back to that center. So for me, I'm a service-based industry. So our stylists kind of do their own branding off on theirs underneath mine because they're an employee. But because I make hiring decisions and education and everything that I have in the space comes back to this center, which for me is holistic hair care, then whatever they choose to put out behind the chair to draw in the types of clients that they want, it'll still marry to my core. So I trust that they can have autonomy. I don't have to micromanage them because it's going to naturally come back and support my brand and my core values. Of course, it helps to let the team know what your core values is and have something in place inside of your salon, whether it's a new hire, an onboarding, or something like that, that kind of lets everyone know who you are and what you stand for. And then also making sure that you're putting that out there, which we'll get to. So these are things that are unique to you, so they can't be replicated by anyone else, no matter how hard they try, or even flat out copy. So don't be afraid about that because they will never be able to replicate you. You are unique. Your core is unique. Why you do what you do is unique. Your experiences, your filter, the way your brain works, the way you speak, everything is unique to you. So really understanding why you do what you do will help you understand yourself, and then also will allow something that can never be replicated. Because everyone has similar, business is business, or in specific industries, you have, okay, here's a salon, there's a salon, there's a retail shop, there's a retail shop, right? So it's that brand, which in a sense is your core of who you are and how you operate as a business, that is what sets you apart. And I thought this was really interesting. I read this in one of my books that I read. I thought that this was a perfect analogy. So just think of this, and I checked this, and this is true. All the ingredients to make Coca-Cola are available online, yet no one is making Coke on the side, right? You can take every ingredient that's available to any person with a Wi-Fi and Google. You can take every ingredient and combine it in 1,000 different ways, but you'd never be able to duplicate it. Why is that? Because it's not about the ingredients. It's about the formula. It's how and why it's put together that help to define it as a brand. So for you, businesses have a lot of the same ingredients, benchmarks, systems. Business is business to a certain degree, right? So then why doesn't everyone have a carbon copy of each other's businesses? Because you are the formula. You, the owner, you are the formula. Ingredients are out there. There's no proprietary on how to do a spreadsheet and track your finances, hire, all those sorts of things. The ingredients are out there, but you as the owner are the formula that makes it unique. How you put all those things together, that's the secret. That's your secret. Something that could never be replicated because you are you and no one else. That also helps me as well, not to have a scarcity mindset. to have an abundant mindset, to have a grateful mindset, because no one can do what you do. And it helps you be confident in what you're doing when things get tough, right? So I encourage you to trust in yourself, stay focused on what makes you unique, which would be your core values, your mission, your culture, because only you can build your business and it can never be duplicated. And the world needs more uniqueness. It needs more of you. We need small businesses. We need people who operate businesses at a higher level, higher mindset. It's not about dollars and cents. It's not about logistics or brick and mortars. It's about the people behind it. Are you doing your due diligence in creating a business that adds to the world, adds to the community, adds to families in a positive, impactful way? That's what I look to when I build my brands, when I refine them. And for me, once you establish your core, your culture, your mission, you can put that out there in your team however you want to see fit. For me, I don't actually love doing a mission statement like in the break room or even in my handbooks. I more so focus on the culture or the behaviors that I want to see in my space, and also who we are as a business. So for me, it's holistic hair care. And where does that come from? So it's a part of my founder story. It's a part of who I am and my experiences in the beauty industry, down to the brands that I use, which are very unique to me. So focusing on those sorts of things will really help you, again, just kind of keep centered, and then building your teams and your business out from that will help you remain give you integrity, give you trust, build trust, and will create, in my opinion, more contentment in what you do as a business, and will help minimize and offset the challenges that we face on a day-to-day basis, sometimes hour by hour basis, right? It can be challenging running a business, but it can also be very rewarding, very beneficial. It stretches you as the owner in beautiful ways that you wouldn't have otherwise had to do, but actually makes you a better human, better partner, better friend, better leader, better manager. And we need people who are doing the work, who want to make themselves better and use their business as a tool to improve the spaces around them. So, final point. Okay, you've got your core, your mission, you've helped to identify it, you've done some work, you've got it on paper, you've got some great stuff, you're building your team according to what you want, you've got things on the shelves, you're offering the services. Okay, no one's coming in the door because we got to get the message out, right? We're in a day and age that if people don't see you, you don't exist, right? You can have the best message, you can be the best, most awesome person on the planet with all the things, but if people don't see you and you're not visible in ways that work in 2023 that people are looking for, it doesn't matter how great that service is or how great that product is or how passionate you are as an owner, what a great team you have. If they don't see you, you don't exist. Okay. So I'll share some of the things that really helped us build quickly in a lot of different ways. And of course, you want to keep refining that as new and better things come up that, in my opinion, make things more efficient, especially when it deals with video editing and things of that nature. So just be abreast of that. But once you have all of those sorts of things, those bite-sized things, that's where you create your content that you can push out. You want to be consistent is your number one goal. Be consistent, very consistent, show up daily, give great educational content, sprinkle some fun in there. People want to see personality. They want to see you. And that doesn't mean you have to show your face. I'm not let's get on here and show all the faces. I'm not that kind of person. I don't mind it, but there's a lot of different ways that you can show personality and who you are without having to put your face out there or speak or things like that. All the feelings that you have inside of your business, take note of what your clients are saying, your customers are saying, your team is saying. Just be like, oh yeah, that's exactly what I want that to look like. And then verbalize that online. You want to pick a consistent branding, a consistent message, which you should have by now, right? And then a consistent frequency. So the main goal is consistency, right? Continuing to show up. That also builds trust and integrity in your brand, and also positions you as, you know, a truth sayer in whatever you say your business is. You keep showing up, you keep putting it out there, it's consistent. It's great. So you can choose to do, what I would strongly encourage you to do is pick a platform that works best for what you're trying to do. And I would stick with one platform to start. So that could be Twitter, that could be Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, something like that. Start with one, YouTube, and then you can branch out from there. But all of that seems very overwhelming. We should be doing all the things, right? But start with one and then just show up on that one consistently every day. Consistent message, which you'll figure out and get. Then you chop it down to your phrases, which can create content. You can also do a website. You can do emails, have an email list. You can have a text list. You can do DMs, events. I would also figure out a great way that works for your business on how you want to communicate to your clients. Do you want it to be on social media? What do you want them to do for you? So you want to include a call to action. What's the action you want someone to take? Sign up for an email, give a phone number, do X, do X. So you want to show them the way, make it easy, no brainer. So you've got your bite-sized pieces. You've got your consistent message, then you pick a platform, then you pick when you want to do that and be consistent with it, and then pick your consistent branding. Okay, it doesn't have to be the same color or the same aesthetic, but if you choose to show up and give to your clients educational, then be educational, right? If you want to do funny, like that's really your niche, however you want to do that, then do that. But stick to that consistently in order to build your brand. You can always sprinkle those things in. Once you have that established brand and your established core, then anything you do, whether it's educational, funny, etc., will come back to that. For me, it's holistic hair care, but also we are an inclusive space. So there's a great tapestry of people at Meraki. So we like to show the personality because for us, it's a service-based business. So these people are going to be sitting in this person's chair. And so people will be drawn to that person, into that chair, etc. And then they're drawn into the brand because of what we stand for. So you can do it that way as well, create some sub-brands in it, but you'd guide and teach your teammates to do those as well. Or if you just have the one brand, then you would just choose that. But you'd want to just be consistent above all else. So for me, building my business quickly in the beginning, back in 2017, I chose social media, so Instagram, because we're a service-based industry. So people want to see hair. They want to see pictures. They want to see themselves in this person's chair. It's a person-to-person business, so they want to see who is going to be doing their hair, their personality. So pictures are a big visual for us. So we chose Instagram, and that made sense for us. And then I showed up on there twice a day, posting at least 5 to 10 stories every single day. Every single day. And then got really clear. I had my hashtags, I had our all the things, and then just kept being consistent. And then over time, our content improved. Like, oh, we've got this great new video editing tool, etc. And since we chose Instagram, then we would be abreast of what is getting noticed, where it's at, and then diverge into, okay, we're going to be sliding into people's DMs, thanking them for following us. We have a booking software, so we've got some emails in there in order to do a service. So a lot of different ways that you can connect. And I also strongly encourage you to not build your business on someone else's platform or a borrowed audience. So don't put all your eggs in one basket as a business. It's just smart business to diversify how you are reaching out to your client, because you don't own Instagram. You don't own your followers. Any DMs or conversations or anything like that, that can all be taken away in a heartbeat, right? So also start catering to how else am I going to connect with my clients? How else am I going to diversify my business if this failed, right? That's smart business, making sure that you are diversifying how you're connecting with your potential client. Okay. And I thought this was an interesting stat that I saw, and I try and keep in mind every time I'm pushing out something new, is people in general need to see something at least 7 times before they make a move or make a purchase. So again, consistency is the winner. Show up consistently, consistent frequency, consistent branding, consistent message. And also don't get discouraged that you don't, people aren't streaming through the doors or blowing up your phone and all of that, because it takes people at least 7 times to make a move on anything. So it's just a function of being visible, being consistent. And if you have that core, then you will be drawing in more than likely the right client, the right team member to you almost from the beginning, because you're so clear on what you want. So that way you don't have a ton of trial and error. You are drawing those people to you that are more than likely going to stick with you and grow with your brand. Be true to your main focus. So again, it's not all over the place. It's easy to follow. Becomes a no-brainer for people. Okay. I also want to encourage you to get creative with your content, because you can repurpose all of your content on different platforms. So if you're looking at one thing, whether it's a service, retail, etc., do it in a couple different formats. So pictures and videos, as well as different angles, close-ups, far, panoramic, whatever, so that you can repurpose that content. Because that's the number one thing that even top-level entrepreneurs and millionaires do. They take that content and then they just chop it up into little pieces that they can continue to put out there. And the same session or whatever they're doing is picture and video. So they can do a little bit of both, because those have different feels to them, right? Video feels different. It draws you in a little bit more. You feel more a part of it than maybe a picture. So make sure that you repurpose a lot of your content so you also don't get overwhelmed with all the things there. And then most importantly, when you put it out there, don't forget to engage. Don't forget to show up yourself. Be there under your business page, or if it's you, show up as you. So repost, like, comment, collaborate, do some giveaways with other local businesses, repost each other, be a part of the community that you're a part of. So, and make that a regular thing. Like if that's really important to you, if that's how you want to show up, then schedule that into your day. For me, I do those things in the morning. Evenings, not so much. My brain is running on fumes, but I'm a morning person. So there'll be a specific amount of my morning routine that I will go in. I will engage as Meraki Salon. I will repost. I will tag different people, comment on other businesses. And I also make sure that I'm following those types of people, local in my community and also in my industry and also in our niche. And then also potential clients and team members that are out there. Just make sure you're showing up, which also adds validity and integrity to your brand. And then you just repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. But also refining and repurposing your brand. Those should be refreshments, not complete. Start from zero, build it back up. So whenever you're making a refinement or rebranding or something like that, it should always stem from that core, so it ends up making sense and it doesn't become scattered. Okay. So it's a little bit of what we have. It's hard running a business, but I want to encourage you. And I put this in my nighttime routine. I journal before I go to bed to kind of brain dump myself so I can sleep. To keep going, keep doing, keep refining what makes you, you. Just leave it all out on the table at the night, sleep, try again the next day. And just keep showing up for yourself, keep showing up for your teams, and keep showing up for your community, because we need you. And you're a valuable part of where we're at. And, as human beings, we're social creatures. We need to connect. And, you know, I'm here for support. I've been through a lot of ups and downs in my business, 2 locations, employees, training leaders, and now training other salon owners with teams. So I really know how important it is to surround yourself with people who are like-minded, who are only encouraging, who are only positive, who are only trying to do their best, and just have those people around you. And that includes digitally as well. Really be selective about who you're listening to, and the people that you have yourself, what you're reading, what you're taking in. That is very important, because you need to fill yourself up so that you can help others. I also have a VIP text community that I've really been loving the last couple months, where I put out myself. I text 3 times a week, some weekly encouragement. And a lot of our clients, they don't even know who it is. They don't know that it's not like it's me. I'm actually like typing and sending the text. And a lot of my clients will text back and they'll be like, I really needed to hear this today. Like it was, you know, this came at the right time. And that's what I want to be, is I want to be a source of encouragement at those times when it's like, oh man, that was really nice. You know, we need more of that. And so the number's on the screen there, you can sign up for that. I do things that are obviously hair related, some tutorials and things like that, for those that want those things. And then I do what I call Monday mindset. So I put out a little encouraging thing every Monday. And then you also stay abreast of different things we have in the space for that. So that's there. You can follow me on my personal page, Michelle.Ghassemi, and also my business page, Meraki Salon NC, for you guys there. So whatever questions or comments that you have, I would love to be able to be of assistance for you guys.
Michelle, this is great. Thank you. I might ask a question first, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So like, what would you say were some of your like top favorite books in helping you to find kind of your purpose and your why that you've read, that you refer to over and over?
Over and over would be books by Simon Sinek, I think. Actually, the book that helped me was called Start With Why. So I really loved his books. Tim Ferriss is a really good one. Really anything by Brene Brown. I've been a lifelong learner of hers, and I really like her book specifically on leadership. And I actually gift those to all of my new managers to help them communicate. And she's a researcher at heart, so she has done a lot of case studies. So I love that. I also do a lot of like Lori Harder has a book out on how to build your tribe called Bliss. So getting encouragement as a woman in business, especially in our industry, women can be not so supportive. And especially as a business owner, it becomes very not so collaborative. So I like to surround myself with the people that I see who are trying to build up other women. And that includes the people that I read. So like Lori Harder, Lindsay, I can't pronounce her last name. And then also a new function. I follow them on Instagram. It's called Growth Day. They also have an app. If you're a digital person who likes to journal and do those sorts of things, that actually have an app there. It's called Growth Day. And they have people like Lori Harder, Trent Sheldon, who's a faith-based speaker. I really like his messages as well. And Brandon Bouchard, he's out there as well. I haven't read any of his books, but I do like the way that he shows up in the world. It's very encouraging. Chris Harder, I like. He really chops down and makes sense of money and using money as a source of giving back to others, because that is a real big purpose of mine, is not just building a business, but also looking for ways to give back. So those are just a few of the things that I've looked into.
What would you say is one thing that you leave every like new salon owner or people that you train? What's the one piece you make sure you tell every single person that you never leave without saying?
It's a concept, which is work on yourself, work on your mindset. You cannot lead others and you cannot handle the challenges of business if you are not constantly working on your mindset, refining it, and your communication skills. So I'm constantly, everything that I teach and I coach people on stems with communication as well. So communication, which in my opinion stems very close to mindset, how you believe yourself to be, how you believe what's true about you, whether it's your confidence or like who you are, will stem into how you are projecting and communicating yourself to others. So you have to work on that first. So you're not projecting garbage or trauma or other things on other people, right? You have to have a due diligence of clearing out your headspace so that you can be better. And also so that you can understand that being vulnerable is actually a form of courage. And as women, that's a huge thing for us. We don't want to, we're always labeled the sensitive one or the crazy one or whatever, right? That's actually a strength of ours. To be courage, to show up with vulnerability and to still get shit done, which is also a phrase that I like. Make it happen, that sort of thing. There's always a solution. And so I always tell like my salon owners and even independent stylists who may be, you know, starting businesses on their own, is to just get, again, really clear on what it is that you're doing, what your purpose is, and then get organized and work on your mindset is just huge. And those are things that are, I always actually start my coaching and my training with those things, because I found that it just is not successful long-term if they don't get those things right.
I don't want to ask all the questions. So anyone else, does anyone else have, I want to give everyone an opportunity to ask. I don't want to hog it all. This is great information. Thank you, Michelle.
Yeah, this is wonderful. I love it. I'm here to share. No wrong question. I feel like I've done a lot of things in my career, so.
What would be one thing that you found that you identified as your why and then later realized that maybe that wasn't the best or it wasn't part of it? Like, what did you learn from that, if anything?
So for me, it wasn't after I figured out my why. Once I figured out my why, then business just boomed after that. What I did find is that even defining my core, my mission, my values, I needed to still keep what happened a lot for me was giving so much without boundaries. So I knew my why, I knew I had a passion, interest, but like I said, there's a lot of women in our industry who will just take and use you up and then peace out, right? So as a business owner, you do need to have some boundaries in play, some logistics in play. So that was really a key moment where I realized that some people will just take from you, and that's okay. That's on them, right? That's a you problem. But I had to make sure that I protected myself, protected the rest of the people who believed in my space. So what I really figured after that, probably from that why moment to now, as of last year, boundaries. And also, I know what I bring to the table. I know what I can do for you. What can you do for me? What can you add to this team? What can you do to align with this, right? It's having confidence in that, because I know how I show up. I know how much I give, right? So once you know that, then you can have that clear conscience that your heart is where it needs to be and you're operating with true intentions. And then you are asking, okay, this is what I have. What do you have? So that was a key indicator for me, is just continuing to have the confidence that I'm on the right track. You know, people are responding to this. This is who I am, you know, because I don't know any other way to be other than myself. So I'm like, this is it. This is me. So I put that, I don't know. That's why I've never really understood when someone says one thing to your face and does another. I have no concept for that. I'm just this is it. I want to be respectful, and everyone has their own, way of life. And I'm not here to live everyone's lives, but I also am a very honest person. I believe clear is kind. So just really understanding that the way that you operate is true to you. It's your vision. It's your vision. That was one thing that was a game changer for me, was understanding that it was my vision that was granted to me. No one else knows that, right? They may buy into and have confidence that you know what you're doing and everything, but they can't have the same vision that you have because it's your vision. It was granted to you. So being true to that and being like, oh yeah, people are not going to show up the way that I show up because it's my vision, right? All I need for them is to be the best versions of themselves, not who I expect them to be, because that's impossible. So that helped me get out of a lot of heartache of like, why is this person not doing X, Y, and Z, right? This is good for just any relationships, right? You have to realize that this is your vision. This is the way that you operate. This is the way that you show up. No one else is going to show up that way. And certainly if you have a core mission and value, that's on your heart. That's in your brain, right? That's inside of you. You can't, no matter how eloquent you are, you cannot portray that onto someone else. So just trusting that, okay, this is my vision. This is who I am. And I just, need people who resonate with that in some way, shape, or form, and then just work what they have. And I also remember on my team, when I may get frustrated with someone's performance or like, oh, if they just did this, they would be so much happier, or like get to where they need to be, right? I always remember not everyone can be a hammer. Not everyone is made to be a hammer. Some people are driven and ambitious, and that works for them. And that's great, but I can't expect everyone to be a hammer every single time. Someone's a screwdriver, someone's an Allen wrench, and that's fine. They can be the best screwdriver on the planet. Like, not everyone needs to be a hammer, right? So everyone has value on the team. And just understanding as a leader how to unlock that specific person's potential, not who you want them to be or who you want them to show up to be. It's how do you unlock their full potential, how to make them the best that they can be, the best tool that they can be. Because I'm a hammer, but not everyone can be a hammer, right? Nor do I really want everyone to be a hammer, honestly. I want, some mix, oh, that's great. I love just like different viewpoints, different experiences. I call it the tapestry of humankind. I love it. I never want to have a business, especially a hair business, where you look on the page and it's all blondes or it's all one thing. That just never spoke to me. I want everyone to feel like they could, find a place, in the space. And I don't want to be like an echo chamber of one thought. I'm always evolving as a human being as well. So I want those in my team to feel comfortable doing that as well.
All right. Any other questions for Michelle? Okay. Well, Michelle, thank you. I think this was super helpful in identifying tips of how to find our why. And just the big thing, it sounds like the takeaway is to make sure we take time to sit down and just with a pen and paper and just start writing some notes and ideas and putting it together and organizing it to get it all together. So thank you for taking time out today of your day, your busy schedule, to help us to identify our why. Thank you to everyone that joined us today for being a part of this, and we'll get Michelle's presentation. We'll get that posted online. We'll get that shared. And then obviously, if you have any questions, you've got Michelle's contact info, and also feel free to join her VIP text community for weekly encouragement and helping you not only find your why, but sustaining that reason of why so that you can remember how to keep moving forward when the times get tough. So thanks, Michelle.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me and organizing it, especially Sarah. Anytime I can be of service to the local businesses, local community, because I know it can be hard and can be lonely. But I really wanted to show up in a big way for you guys, because you guys have always shown up big for me and my businesses and my team as well. So I appreciate you.
Back at you. Thanks, everyone. Happy Tuesday.
Thanks.
Go conquer your week.